chosen one. They are falling to pieces trying to prove to everyone that they aren't a nasty manipulator, but the truth is speaking louder than any excuse they can manufacture. The same mouth that once spread rumors about you is now stumbling over contradictions. The universe is showcasing their deceit in real time, peeling back layers of illusion until the real face is exposed. Meanwhile, your peace stands as undeniable proof of your growth and protection. The tables have turned completely. What was once hidden manipulation is now public humiliation, and divine justice is center stage. This was not some emotional reaction that got out of hand. This was cold. This was calculated. This was premeditated character assassination with specific goals in mind. Someone sat down and strategized how to take you out without getting hands visibly dirty. You were studied. What made you vulnerable was learned. The people in your life who might believe a carefully crafted lie were identified. Then movement happened with precision. The gift offered to you was not generosity. It was a Trojan horse designed to stop your healing process dead in its tracks. Your recovery from previous wounds was being watched, and the thought was clear: not on my watch. That gift, that gesture, that moment of seeming concern about your well-being was specifically engineered to create a situation where you would look unstable if you reacted. A scenario was being set up where your natural response to manipulation would be used as evidence against you. That is master-level psychological warfare, and success was almost achieved. For a moment you questioned yourself. You wondered if you were overreacting. You thought maybe you were being too suspicious, too guarded, too untrusting. That was exactly what was wanted. Self-doubt was the weapon, and deployment happened with precision. But something in you refused to take the bait. Your intuition screamed danger, even when you could not articulate why. That hesitation, that pause, that moment where you chose to protect yourself instead of pleasing them, was when you unknowingly dodged a bullet that would have destroyed everything you had built. The setup was more elaborate than a simple lie told to mutual friends. Documentation was being created. Screenshots of innocent interactions were being saved and prepared to be framed as evidence of your alleged instability. A case was being built against you before you even knew you were on trial. Every conversation was being recorded mentally, twisted, ready to be weaponized at the perfect moment. Positioning happened as concerned and caring to outside observers. People saw the reaching out, the offers of help, the attempts to maintain connection. That way, when the strike finally came, all those gestures could be pointed to as proof of good intentions. Meanwhile, you would look like the ungrateful, paranoid one who rejected someone who only wanted to help. Now watch what happens when manipulation meets divine protection. The attack was launched expecting you to crumble. Anticipation was high that you would be isolated, blamed, investigated, and destroyed. The victory speech had already been planned, but something unexpected occurred. The chaos created did not land on you. It circled back and hit them square in the face. Suddenly the questioning is focused on them. The stories that do not add up belong to them. The isolation designed for you is being experienced by them, and understanding cannot happen about how this occurred. In their mind, the perfect plan was executed. Every detail was accounted for. Every angle was covered. So why is their life falling apart instead of yours? Rengdo family members started noticing inconsistencies. The people who should have been automatic defenders began asking uncomfortable questions. Someone said something that did not match what was said before. That one crack in the facade started a chain reaction. Now scrambling is happening to maintain multiple versions of the same story. Memory is being taxed, trying to remember which lie was told to which person. Details are getting mixed up. Every contradiction makes them look more suspicious to everyone watching. The cognitive load of maintaining deception is breaking them down mentally and emotionally. But it gets worse. The questionable people who surrounded them, the ones who enabled toxic behavior and participated in it, those people are starting to distance themselves too. Even the co-conspirators recognize a sinking ship when they see one. When your backup abandons you, that is when you know the situation is terminal. Watch how narrative control is being attempted now. Reaching out to mutual connections is happening to get ahead of the story. Versions of events are being offered before anyone asks. Defensive behavior is emerging about things no one has even accused them of yet. That behavior alone is raising red flags everywhere. Innocent people do not preemptively defend themselves against accusations that have not been made. Allies are receiving phone calls where the person sounds increasingly unhinged. The calm, collected persona is cracking under pressure. People are hearing the desperation in the voice. The mask slipping in real time during conversations is being witnessed. Once you hear that shift, you cannot unhear it. Once you see the real person underneath the performance, you cannot unsee them. This is where the story takes a turn that should terrify anyone who has ever tried to harm a chosen one. The situation escalated beyond social drama into official investigation. Organizations with authority are involved. Agencies with subpoena power are engaged. People who investigate manipulation for a living and know every trick in the book are watching. Maybe Child Protective Services got involved because accusations touched vulnerable people. Maybe law enforcement stepped in because false reports were filed. Maybe legal systems became players because courts were being used as weapons. Whatever the specific entity, involvement is real now. Charm, tears and sob stories hold no weight. Evidence is what matters. The investigators started pulling records, communication logs, timestamps, documentation, witness statements. Every single piece of evidence contradicted the story that was told. Claims were made about you harassing them during a period when records show you had blocked all contact. You were called unstable when documentation proves you were in therapy, actively healing. The paper trail tells a completely different story than the accusations, but here is the detail that is probably causing lost sleep at night. Investigators found evidence of obsession with you. Social media was being monitored. Mutual acquaintances were being asked about you. Your progress was being tracked, and resentment was seething every time you succeeded. The obsession you were accused of was projection of their own behavior onto you. If you felt called by this message, hype this video so other chosen ones like you can be reached. The authorities are building a profile that is damning. Someone who accuses others of exactly what they themselves are doing is being identified. Classic Darvo tactics are being recognized, where the perpetrator becomes the victim and the victim becomes the perpetrator. Manipulation patterns are being spotted that indicate this was not an isolated incident, but rather a lifestyle of using people. Now cooperation with the investigation is being attempted, while simultaneously trying to control what investigators discover. Information is being offered that makes them look good, while details that reveal true nature are being hidden. But investigators expect this behavior. They are watching for what is not said as much as what is said. The omissions are often more revealing than the statements. Now we are getting to the layers beneath the surface. This attack on you was not an isolated incident. As investigators dig deeper, a pattern is being found. You were not the first person this manipulator targeted. You are just the first one who got away clean and stayed away. Others before you got pulled back in by apologies and promises, but you did not. The financial angle is becoming clearer too. Access to your resources was needed. Dependence was either on your support or you were wanted dependent on theirs. Control and money are always connected with narcissistic manipulators. When you cut off their access by walking away, you did not just hurt ego, you hurt the bottom line. Look at what is happening financially now. The material world is crumbling as well as the social world. Meanwhile, you are still standing. You might even be prospering. That contrast is eating them alive. Predictions were made that you would fail without them. Mutual friends were told you could not make it on your own. Every success you achieve now is another dagger in the false narrative. Investigators are also discovering the copying behavior. Your style was being emulated. Your creativity was being mimicked. Your manner of self-expression was being studied and reproduced. When professionals compare the two of you, it is obvious who is authentic and who is performing. It is obvious who was living truth and who was obsessed with someone else's journey. The more authorities investigate, the more evidence of premeditation they find. Saved screenshots exist, drafted messages that were never sent are stored, search histories reveal planning and research. This was not passionate outburst, this was calculated targeting. That distinction matters enormously in legal and professional contexts. Documents show research was done on how to build cases against people. Legal terminology was looked up. What evidence would be considered credible was studied. Preparation happened to launch an attack that would hold up under scrutiny. Except one crucial detail was forgotten. Truth has a way of emerging no matter how carefully lies are constructed around it. Previous relationships are being examined now. People from the past are being contacted. A disturbing pattern is emerging. Multiple people have similar stories about behavior. The tactics change slightly to adapt to different victims, but the core manipulation strategy remains consistent. Target, love bomb, isolate, devalue, and then destroy when someone tries to leave. To watch what happens when a manipulator realizes being cornered is the reality. Emergency performance mode kicks in, and it is almost predictable in its desperation. Suddenly apologies are being reached out with, suddenly claims of having revelations about behavior are being made. Suddenly the poster child for accountability and growth emerges. But you need to understand what is really happening here. This is not genuine transformation. This is strategic repositioning. Looking good to authorities by appearing to take responsibility is understood. Showing remorse might reduce consequences is realized. So emotions are being performed that are expected to be felt, but there is nothing real underneath the theater. Getting back into your good graces specifically might be attempted right now. Messages might arrive, or intermediaries might reach out on their behalf. Here is why. Your testimony carries enormous weight is known. You were the primary target. Your statement to investigators could seal fate permanently. So appeasing you is being attempted not because your healing is cared about, but because what you say about them is trying to be controlled. Do not fall for this performance. Do not let temporary tears move you. Do not accept hollow apologies that sound good but mean nothing. This is the same person who tried to destroy you. The only thing that has changed is consequences are now being faced, so tactics have switched. Leopards do not change spots. Costumes just get changed. The mental health excuse is also coming into play. Leaning hard on diagnoses is happening. Claiming behavior was symptomatic rather than malicious. While mental health struggles deserve compassion, they do not erase accountability. You can have issues and still be responsible for harm you cause. Authorities understand this distinction, even if mutual friends do not. Showing up to gatherings where mutual friends will be present is happening. People are being made sure to see remorseful and humble appearances. Vulnerability is being performed in carefully controlled environments, but notice actual behaviors are not changing. Real therapy is not being entered. The internal work that genuine transformation requires is not being done. Public image is just being managed. Social media has become a stage for this performance. Vague references to personal growth and learning from mistakes are being posted. Inspirational quotes about accountability and change are being shared. An image of someone deeply reflective and evolving is being carefully curated. But people who know them well can see it is all surface. There is no substance behind the performance. The apologies when offered are masterclasses in non-apology. Apologies, things like "I'm sorry you felt hurt," are said rather than "I'm sorry I hurt you." Acknowledgement happens that damage occurred without taking responsibility for causing it. Regret is expressed that the situation unfolded the way it did, as if it was some accident rather than deliberate choice. Trained observers recognize these linguistic patterns immediately. You are a chosen one, and that is not metaphorical, that is spiritual fact. You were selected for a specific path that requires specific armor most people never develop. Encountering this manipulator was part of your training, not your destruction. Every attack launched was actually forging you into something stronger. Every lie told was teaching you to recognize truth instantly. Every manipulation tactic used was training you to spot red flags before they fully emerge. You graduated from a masterclass in spiritual warfare, and now you operate at a level that intimidates people who still think manipulation works on everyone. Literal attempts were made to sever your connection to divine favor, cutting you off from blessings, opportunities, and the natural flow of abundance meant for your path was desired. Spiritual attacks were being performed while everything was pretending to be normal, surface-level interaction. But chosen ones carry protection they do not even know about. You cannot curse what the divine has blessed. You cannot block what the universe has ordained for someone walking in true purpose. Every spell tried to be cast bounced back to sender. Every trap set caught their own foot. Every pit dug became their own grave. The realization is just now hitting that forces beyond comprehension were being fought against. While obsession over your downfall was happening, you were being elevated in silence. While consumption with thoughts of you was occurring, you were healing and evolving beyond their comprehension. Your silence was not weakness, it was strategy. You did not defend yourself because truth was your defense attorney. You did not fight because the universe deployed armies on your behalf. There were moments when you felt completely alone in this battle. Moments when you questioned if anyone would ever see the truth. Moments when you wondered if you were crazy for perceiving what you perceived. But you were not alone. Spiritual forces were surrounding you that blocked attacks you never even knew were coming. Divine interventions were redirecting schemes before they could fully form. Think about the times when things almost went terribly wrong but somehow did not. Think about the moments when isolation almost succeeded but someone unexpected reached out. Think about the instances when evidence that could have been destroyed was miraculously preserved. That was not luck. That was protection operating at frequencies beyond human comprehension. What is being experienced now is what happens when you fight against someone the universe is actively protecting. Resistance is being felt everywhere they turn. Nothing is working the way it should. Usual tactics are backfiring. Manipulation strategies are exposing them instead of helping them. Confusion exists because these same methods have worked successfully before on other people. But you are not other people, you are a chosen one, and that changes everything. Now let me put you onto something real. Destiny Engine. I built this because I was done watching chosen ones get dragged through betrayal, isolation and attacks while their enemies strutted around unchecked. I want to help you accelerate the speed of your divine justice and step fully into your purpose. And the beauty of it, you don't even have to lift a finger. Destiny Engine takes their downfall and flips it into your rise. This isn't another meditation app. It's classified consciousness technology, the same mind programming tools your enemies once used to install fear, competition and scarcity, re-engineered to restore your sovereignty and align you with the cooperative, upgraded operating framework. It generates personalized sequences mapped to your divine purpose. The hardest thing you'll do is put on headphones, press play and watch your enemies keep digging their own grave. The collective upgrade is underway. Start your Destiny Engine for $1 today and turn everything they did to break you into fuel for your rise. Link in the description. Prepare yourself because contact from authorities investigating this situation is likely coming. Your perspective is going to be wanted. Your version of events will be asked for. Everything you say will become part of the official record that determines fate. This is your moment to speak truth in a space where it will actually be heard and validated. When contact comes, keep it simple. Tell exactly what happened from your perspective without embellishment or emotion. State the facts clearly. Describe the patterns you noticed. Explain why you chose to remove yourself from their life. Talk about the healing journey you have been on since establishing that boundary. Your testimony will carry weight because it will align perfectly with all the other evidence collected. You are not seeking revenge by speaking truth. You are not trying to destroy anyone by telling what actually happened. You are simply refusing to help maintain illusion anymore. If the truth destroys reputation, that is a consequence of choices made, not your words. The house of cards was built by them. You are just declining to pretend it is made of brick. This testimony represents something profound beyond the immediate situation. This is your refusal to be gaslit about your own experience. This is your rejection of a reality where manipulators face no consequences. This is your participation in justice, not revenge. There is a massive difference between those two energies, and you need to be clear about which one you are operating from. Your calm, consistent testimony will stand in stark contrast to emotional, contradictory statements from them. Investigators will notice you are not trying to make yourself look perfect. You are not claiming to be blameless in every interaction. You are simply telling what happened without dramatization. That authenticity is immediately recognizable to people trained in distinguishing truth from fabrication. Attempts might be made to discredit you before you even give testimony. Rumors might spread that you are vindictive or unstable. Attempts might be made to preemptively frame your statement as motivated by bitterness. But investigators expect this behavior from guilty parties. The fact that such hard attempts are being made to undermine your credibility before you even speak actually strengthens your position. Investigators have found evidence you did not even know existed. Communication you were not party to has been discovered. Statements made about you to others have been recorded. Documentation of obsession with tracking your progress has been found. All of it paints a picture of calculated targeting that goes deeper than you realized. Messages have been found where the attack against you was being planned. Conversations with enablers about how to make you look unstable have been discovered. Discussions about using your own healing process as ammunition against you have been documented. This was not spontaneous emotional reaction. This was conspiracy, and now there is a paper trail proving it. The copying behavior goes further than you thought too. Style was not just being emulated occasionally. Systematic attempts were being made to become you while simultaneously trying to destroy you. That level of obsession combined with that level of malice creates a profile that terrifies professionals who understand personality disorders. Financial records reveal crisis was happening during the period when you were attacked most aggressively. The material world was collapsing, and instead of dealing with personal issues, energy was focused on sabotaging yours. That desperation explains the intensity of targeting. You were not just being hurt emotionally. You were being eliminated as competition for resources, opportunities, and social capital. Multiple people have come forward with similar stories. You were not the only target. You are just the one who got away and stayed away. Others got pulled back in by apologies and promises to change. But your refusal to return became the catalyst that gave other victims courage to speak up. Your boundary setting created a domino effect of truth-telling. Recordings exist that you did not know about. Someone witnessed something and documented it. Someone saved evidence because they sensed something was wrong, even if they could not articulate it at the time. The universe positioned witnesses in places you never knew needed witnessing. Divine intelligence was building a case while you were just trying to survive. Communication with third parties reveals lies about you were being spread long before the open conflict began. Your reputation in your community was being slowly poisoned. Seeds of doubt about your character were being planted with people you both knew. A foundation of false narrative was being built so that when accusations were openly made, people would already be primed to believe them. Some of those people attempts were made to manipulate against you were paying closer attention than realized. Some of them were taking notes about inconsistencies in the stories. Some of them were comparing what was said to them privately versus what was said publicly. Those people are now providing statements that contradict every major claim made. Watch what happens when a carefully constructed false narrative starts falling apart. Telling of the version of events has been happening for so long that belief in personal fiction has set in. The lies have been repeated so many times that in their mind they have become memory. But lies do not have the stability of truth. They shift and change depending on audience and circumstance. Now people are comparing notes. Someone remembers hearing one thing while someone else remembers hearing the opposite. The timeline presented does not match up with documented events. Claims about being in one place when evidence proves being somewhere else entirely have been made. Every inconsistency is another crack in the foundation of credibility. Enablers are starting to ask questions too. The people who initially provided support are beginning to feel manipulated themselves. Realization is dawning that they were used as pawns in a larger game. Recognition is happening that they were fed carefully curated information designed to turn them against you. That realization is making them angry. Nobody likes discovering they have been played. Watch attempts to explain away the contradictions. Claims will be made about being misunderstood. Statements will be made that people are taking words out of context. Insistence will happen that the timeline issues are innocent mistakes anyone could make. But there are too many mistakes, too many coincidences, too many convenient memory lapses about events that do not support the narrative. The panic is becoming visible now. Desperate moves are being made that only make things worse. Reaching out to people not spoken to in years is happening, trying to rebuild alliances. Favors are being offered and promises are being made to anyone who might speak on their behalf. Manufacturing support is being attempted because genuine support is evaporating. Social dynamics that once worked in their favor are now working against them. The same personality traits that made them seem charismatic and confident now make them seem calculated and fake. The charm that once drew people in now feels manipulative in retrospect. People are re-evaluating every interaction through a new lens, and nothing looks the same anymore. We have reached the moment where everything converges and the full truth becomes undeniable to everyone. The mask worn so carefully has shattered into pieces. Family members are publicly distancing themselves. Friends are making statements. Enablers are trying to minimize their own involvement. This manipulator is standing alone in the wreckage created, finally visible as exactly who they always were. The investigative findings are about to become public in some form. Maybe court documents will be released. Maybe official reports will be published. Maybe just the grapevine in your shared community will spread it, but the truth is spreading, and there is no containing it now. Every person who once believed lies about you is now apologizing for doubting you. Every relationship destroyed is being examined in new light. Complete social collapse is being experienced. The isolation tried to be inflicted on you has become their lived reality multiplied. Everyone they know is being watched, reassessing every interaction ever had. People are going back through years of relationship and recognizing manipulation missed in the moment. The realization is spreading like wildfire, and there is no putting that fire out. The financial consequences are hitting simultaneously. Opportunities are disappearing. Connections are severing. Revenue streams are drying up. The material stability tried to be stolen from you is evaporating from their own life. They are watching you prosper in their absence, which confirms everything feared about losing control of you. Being forced to face themselves is happening. The cognitive dissonance is too strong to maintain anymore. The mental gymnastics required to believe own lies have become impossible. Looking in the mirror and seeing the monster they always accused you of being is the reality now. That internal reckoning is the most devastating consequence of all. Public spaces that once felt safe now feel uncomfortable. The shift in how people respond can be felt. Conversations go quiet when rooms are entered. Invitations stop coming. People who used to seek company now avoid them. The social death tried to be inflicted on you is happening to them instead, and it is happening faster than processing can occur. Online presence is being scrutinized. Old posts are being screenshot and analyzed. Patterns are being identified in public statements that reveal manipulation tactics. People are noticing how positioning always happens as victim while subtly attacking others. The digital footprint, thought to support false narrative, is actually exposing them. You did not just survive this attack. You evolved through it. You are not the same person who first encountered this manipulator. You are sharper, wiser, more discerning, and infinitely more powerful in your ability to protect your peace. Your intuition is a finely tuned instrument now. You can spot manipulation before it fully forms. You recognize red flags instantly. You identify toxic patterns in their early stages. You are not naive anymore, but you are not hardened either. You are just clear, crystal clear about what you will and will not tolerate in your space. The boundaries you learn to set through this experience are protecting you in ways you do not even fully realize yet. Every relationship in your life is healthier because you now know what genuine connection feels like versus transactional interaction. Every opportunity you pursue is more aligned because you have learned to trust your gut when something feels off. You have also developed something rare and valuable. You have compassion for people who are still learning lessons you have already mastered. You can recognize when someone is trapped in manipulation, even when they cannot see it themselves. Full of compassion, you have wisdom earned through battle, and that wisdom makes you a beacon for others who need guidance finding their way out of similar darkness. The silence you maintained during your healing was not passive, it was the most powerful choice you could have made. While broadcasting a version of events was happening, you were actually doing the work to transform. Now the contrast is undeniable. Stuck in the same patterns, same tactics, same energy is their reality. You operate at a completely different frequency. You have learned the difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is emotional and immediate. Responding is thoughtful and strategic. Throughout this entire ordeal, you responded when you could have reacted. You maintained your composure when you had every right to lose it. That self-control is a form of power they will never understand. Your capacity to hold space for your own healing without needing external validation grew exponentially. You learned that your truth does not require everyone's agreement to be valid. You discovered that walking away is not weakness, but the highest form of self-respect. You realized that some battles are won by refusing to fight on someone else's toxic terms. Watch how this story concludes. Divine justice does not need your help to complete its work. It just needs you to stay out of the way and let natural consequences run their course. Everything this manipulator tried to inflict on you has become their reality. Every fear projected onto you has manifested in their own life. Every curse sent has returned to sender. Isolation, questioning, investigation, social collapse, financial instability, all of it is being experienced, and it was done to themselves. Choices created these consequences, actions triggered these investigations, deceptions constructed the trap now caught in. You did not have to orchestrate any of this, you just had to survive and heal. New opportunities are opening for you right now. Doors that were closed are swinging wide. Connections that seemed impossible are forming naturally. Abundance is flowing into spaces you created by removing toxicity. This is not random timing. This is direct consequence of you choosing yourself over a relationship that was slowly destroying you. Someone with authority or resources may step into your life soon to offer support or opportunity. This person will recognize your character and want to invest in your success. Clear vision about what you went through and respect for how you handled it will be evident. Divine timing is positioning allies in your path just when you need them most. You are protected by forces this manipulator never considered. The belief was that chess was being played against you. The reality that the opponent was actually the universe itself was not realized. That is a game no one wins when operating from deception and malice. You are covered by spiritual armor impossible to penetrate, blessed with favor impossible to block, and destined for levels impossible for them to reach. The universe has been documenting everything. Every tear you cried in private was recorded. Every moment you chose integrity over retaliation was noted. Every time you walked away instead of engaging with chaos was acknowledged. Now you are being compensated for all of it. The divine does not forget what you endured. It does not overlook your strength. It rewards you in ways that make the struggle worth it. The whole world is about to see the difference between someone who manipulates and someone who is chosen. The difference between someone who destroys and someone who builds, the difference between them and you. That contrast will echo in ways you cannot even imagine yet. You survived, you evolved, you are free. The story they tried to write about you just got completely rewritten by truth. Welcome to your vindication. Welcome to your breakthrough. Welcome to the chapter where everyone sees you were right all along. The storm they created is destroying them while you stand untouched. That is not coincidence. That is divine protection in action. That is spiritual law proving itself once again. That is what happens when someone comes for a chosen one without understanding the forces truly being fought against. Keep building, keep rising, keep walking in your power. The best part of your story is just beginning, and they are not in it anymore.